4:30 news on Q2, an effort to release the Epstein files.
This vote will last longer than the president will be in office.
Next week, Speaker Mike Johnson plans for the House to vote on a bill that will make that decision. We'll explain. Plus, a spa day at Red Lodge Fire Rescue.
We're in dire need of that extra space.
Representative Troy Downing secured $2 million to expand and renovate the station for big plans in the future. Our Vanessa Blitzdon has more coming up. And a hard pill to swallow for penny pinchers across the nation. For the first time, production of the U.S. penny is being discontinued because the cost of making them is almost 4 times more than what they're worth. What this means for American spenders coming up. The MTN 4:30 news starts right now. Good afternoon and thanks for joining us on this Friday. I'm Mack Carmack. For our top story, the House is set to vote on a bill to release the Epstein files. On Wednesday, Democratic Representative Adelita Grijalva was sworn in and followed through on her pledge to be the final signature on a discharge petition to force a vote on documents related to the criminal prosecution of convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. House Speaker Mike Johnson says next week he will put out a bill to release the files. Scripps News Group congressional correspondent Nate Reed reports the latest.
The House of Representatives will vote next week on a bill to force the release of all of the government's files on Jeffrey Epstein. The vote will bring an end to the long saga in the House of Representatives, culminating in a nearly 8-week-long recess as Speaker Mike Johnson kept the House of Representatives out of D.C. for nearly the full duration of the government shutdown. Congresswoman Adelita Grijalva, who was sworn in this week after a long delay, becoming the final signature on a petition to compel Speaker Johnson to hold a vote on the bill to release the files nearly immediately after she was sworn in. You believe that the delay for your swearing in was directly related to your decision to sign on to this petition to release the Epstein files?
Yes, I do.
This week, the bill's lead Republican sponsor, Congressman Thomas Massie of Kentucky, telling reporters he believes even more Republicans will support the final vote on releasing the files, telling the Scripps News Group that his fellow Republicans should not worry about potential backlash from the White House.
This vote will last longer than the president will be in office. They'll be accountable for this vote in 2028. They'll be accountable for this vote in 2030. And do they always want to have on their record that they voted to cover up for pedophiles? Because President Trump's not always going to be able to come to their district and campaign for them or give them some tele-town hall endorsement.
President Trump on Truth Social Friday posting about what he calls the, quote, Epstein hoax, calling out, quote, some weak Republicans for joining with Democrats in their push to release the files. The president ending the post, quote, don't waste your time with Trump. I have a country to run. While the House vote seems likely to pass, there's no guarantee the bill will come up for a vote in the U.S. Senate. And President Donald Trump has made no secret his thoughts on the proposal, meaning even if the bill defies the odds and passes both chambers of Congress, it could still face a presidential veto. The controversy surrounding the Trump administration's handling of the Jeffrey Epstein case, though, not going away anytime soon. Nathaniel Reed, Scripps News Group, Washington.
The longest federal government shutdown has finally come to an end after 43 days. But just because the shutdown is over doesn't mean the impacts are. Now U.S. stock futures are down a day after Wall Street's worst day in a month. Delayed government data and uncertainty over rate cuts could be contributing to the slide. Scripps News Group Mara Barrett takes a look at the uncertainty surrounding the Federal Reserve's next policy move and why analysts lack clarity over what could happen next.
The government shutdown over, but the economic effects will linger, according to Kevin Hassett, the director of the National Economic Council.
Our Council of Economic Advisors said that it cost about $15 billion a week.
Wall Street responded on Thursday, sinking to its worst day in a month. Traders also questioned whether cuts to interest rates will actually happen, considering the delay in economic data, like the monthly jobs report or inflation metrics, leaving officials without the full picture. Investopedia's Caleb Silver says investors initially entered the second half of the year expecting multiple cuts.
Now the picture looks a little bit cloudier because we don't have hard government data, but the Federal Reserve is looking at the fact that prices continue to rise. That's inflation due to tariffs and other causes, and the labor market is slowing.
Earlier this week, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt blamed Democrats for the lack of, quote, critical government data.
The Democrats may have permanently damaged the federal statistical system with October CPI and jobs reports likely never being released.
Hassett says data will be compiled and released, but confirms some information will stay in the dark.
But we will never know what the unemployment rate was in October because there wasn't a household survey.
With high valuations and anxiety around an AI bubble, Silver says it's understandable for investors to be on edge.
A pullback like this, 5% or so, is not crazy, especially in a year where we've had such aggressive gains.
Maura Barrett, Scripps News Group, Denver.
The Red Lodge Fire Rescue Station is set to get a spa day. The U.S. House of Representatives passed a bill on Wednesday detailing approximately $2 million will go towards repairing and upgrading the station. Montana Representative Troy Downing requested the funding. Our Vanessa Willardson spoke with the district's assistant fire chief, who says the station is in dire need of a makeover.
Red Lodge Fire Rescue is long overdue for a renovation.
We're filled to the gills with fire apparatus and ambulances and wildland engines.
Assistant Fire Chief Torsten Prahl says equipment is filling every available space, and that's led to big problems, such as storing their protective fire suits, called turnouts, in the same garage as their vehicles.
When the vehicles get started up, we have diesel particulate matter that kind of embed themselves into our turnouts.
When firefighters step into those suits, they are exposing themselves to all that contamination.
And it's shown to be cancerous and not healthy for us.
But that's nothing that about $2 million can't fix. Congressman Troy Downing was able to get that $2 million approved in a bill that passed on Wednesday. Prahl says the money will go toward a new building.
We're trying to separate our turnouts from our vehicles for health and safety reasons. And so with this new facility, we'd be able to separate those two so our firefighters have clean gear when they're jumping in their turnouts and going on a call.
The new facility would not only allow for storage for turnouts separate from the vehicle's bay, it would also allow for improved meeting rooms and living quarters and a better fitness facility.
This funding is really going to get us the capacity to keep doing that and have room for growth down the road.
In Red Lodge, Vanessa Willardson, MTN News.
Police in Bozeman and Butte are warning the public about a recent uptick in scam calls. Authorities say the latest schemes involve scammers posing as enforcement officers, saying that the person on the other end of the line has an outstanding warrant that must be paid immediately. Police say scammers will try to create a sense of urgency. And if you're wondering whether or not a phone call is legitimate, officials say to call the Gallatin County Dispatch Office at 406-582-2000 just to make sure.
A lot of times the scammers will tell you, well, don't call the police or don't call your bank or don't call your family member or whatever. I need to do this right now. Those should be, real good indicators that it's really not legitimate. And, if you don't know the number, don't answer the phone.
A lot of clouds for Montana and Wyoming, but so far not much rain to show for it. Trace amounts of rain from Billings westward toward Columbus, Big Timber, and Livingston. That's about all we've been able to muster. We've had some light rain around Miles City as well as Baker right now. Some more a little bit to the southeast of Ekalaka and north of Broadus, but again, only light amounts of rain. Even some more rain showers again from Miles City toward Glendive, even Glasgow. A couple 3/100ths of an inch here and there, but really not much more than that. And we're not quite done with this entire storm system, still sagging southward across much of eastern and southern Montana. We're going to have more clouds overnight tonight, even some chance for some rain and snow mixes for northeastern Montana. Our 7-day forecast with all details coming up in a few minutes.